When it comes to your internet privacy, choosing the right VPN can be crucial in remaining anonymous on the internet. And in today's evolving digital age, there are so many different VPNs out there to choose from. That being said, in today's video, we'll be covering a very specific VPN that I think is a super solid competitor to some of the biggest VPNs in the industry. That VPN is none other than ProtonVPN. This is a VPN that has a host of different competitive features and in my opinion is super solid. But in today's video, we'll be reviewing everything you need to know about this VPN, whether that's its price, its features, its use cases, and of course the actual whole point of having it in the first place, which is how secure does it actually keep your information on the internet. We'll be covering all of this and more, and by the end of this video, you'll have a clear idea of whether or not ProtonVPN is right for you. Make sure you watch to the very end of this video so you guys get access to the best possible deal if you're interested in getting started with ProtonVPN for a discount. Other than that though, let's get into this review. Now first things first, ProtonVPN sits itself just among some of its most popular and famous competitors. These are competitors like Surfshark, NordVPN, ExpressVPN, and PureVPN. ProtonVPN and all of its competitors all essentially do the same thing, which is basically keep your online interactions private and anonymous. Because of this, it can be very difficult to understand the key differences between these VPNs, but in today's video, I want to dive into the specific features that ProtonVPN offers to you in the first place. First things first, let's just dive into the main part of this VPN, which is the actual protocol that it utilizes to keep your internet privacy safe in the first place. Now, when it comes to protocols, ProtonVPN uses a protocol called AES-256 encryption. This is basically one of the top level encryption softwares and it allows us to have super private and secure data. This is the same encryption process that most of the other big VPNs out there use and it's super competitive. ProtonVPN also offers a strict no logs policy. What this means is that any of its user activity, anybody who accesses their products or anybody who utilizes their service in the first place will never have a log saved at any given point. This is super critical. I've seen tons of VPNs not have this as an option, and I just do not get why they wouldn't have that in the first place. Having a no logs policy basically means that they won't keep any of your data, they won't sell it to anyone, and more importantly, they're just not keeping it in the first place. The whole point of a VPN is to keep your actions private and secure, and if the VPN itself is logging what you're doing, then that's not private or secure. I think this is a really big benefit, and again, if you're going to get on a VPN, definitely look out for a no logs policy. One of the other big benefits about ProtonVPN is the way that it actually routes traffic through a variety of different servers in order to avoid any kind of malicious attack. This can be super helpful if there are hackers or just in general bad actors trying to access your information. They won't be able to see it because it's going through a variety of different servers in order to keep it more anonymous and secure. One of the other kind of side benefits about ProtonVPN is their DNS Leak Protection. This basically just keeps any of your DNS queries from being exposed, which is super helpful if you're operating on DNS servers or utilizing any of that technology. Now we know a little bit about how ProtonVPN actually keeps you secure in the first place, but what about its coverage? When it comes to coverage, ProtonVPN has over 1,200 different servers in a little over 50 different countries. This is great because that's a super solid competitive number with some of the biggest VPNs on the market. Also, what this means is that anywhere you are in the world, you can probably use ProtonVPN to keep your online interactions private. Now, ProtonVPN also offers super high-speed connections. This can be super helpful if you're somebody who's concerned about data leaks. For instance, if you boot your machine up and you want it to connect immediately to a VPN so there is no risk of anybody seeing that machine, this is something that can do that for you. ProtonVPN also offers unlimited bandwidth, which is just another nice feature as well. ProtonVPN is currently available on most, if not all, major platforms. Now, as far as the device limit goes, and that is something that a lot of people like to consider, you'll get up to 10 different devices at any given point on your ProtonVPN account. What that means is if you have a laptop, a desktop, an iPhone, an Xbox, anything like that will be covered as long as it's under the 10 device limit category. If you have more than 10 devices, that 11th device unfortunately won't probably be covered. Now, one of the big reasons why people use VPNs in the first place is to bypass specific regional restrictions that you might have, especially when it comes to TV and media. If you're somebody who lives in a different country who doesn't have access to things like Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu, this can be a VPN that you could use as a go around. Basically what the VPN does is it shows your IP address accessing the internet from a different part of the world, thus meaning that you can access those TV shows, videos and watch them at your disposal without having to worry about a regional restriction or a regional block. Now, this is something that I think is super interesting that I was reading through the features on that I haven't really seen with a lot of other VPNs that they offer. One of this is a direct access to the Tor Network, which is a ultra private, ultra deep web access point that you can't really get to on the regular internet. This is super interesting because basically you can have direct access to do things on the Tor browser without having to actually be inside of the Tor browser, which is pretty interesting. Now, when it comes to advanced features, these are things that I think every VPN should have, and lucky for us, ProtonVPN also has them as well. ProtonVPN has an ad blocker, which is on par, if not pretty much competitive with every other ad blocker that a VPN offers. What this will do for you is block things like YouTube ads, website ads, and a host of other ads that you might find annoying. There's also a super handy feature called the kill switch. What this essentially will do is that if there's any dropout in service from the VPN you're utilizing, it will automatically cut off your internet access. That may sound like a disadvantage, but that's super helpful if you're trying to keep something that you're doing on the internet secure and all of a sudden the VPN service that you're using goes out. This will keep you safe from any of those data leaks and keeping you even more secure. Now that we've gone over all the features, let's talk price. When it comes to the best deal possible with getting started with VPN, make sure to use the link down in the description of this video. Once you use that link, you'll then be taken to a page that could look something like this, and you'll basically have a few different options that you can choose from. Now, one of the main things you want to keep in mind is that ProtonVPN is primarily a Europe-based VPN. So if you're somebody who's based out of the United States or any of the surrounding territories, it might not be as useful. As you can see, when it comes to the plans, they have a 1-month plan for about €9.99 a month. They have a 2-year plan for about €4.49 a month. And for the 1-year plan, we're looking at about €4.99 a month. Each of these plans have their own benefits, but if you go with the best deal here, that's how you're going to save the most amount of money. Once you've decided to go with that plan, you'll simply just have to create a quick account, start the checkout process by entering your credit card details and all of your information. And once that's all set up, you'll hit the pay button and you'll be ready to go to get started with ProtonVPN. And that's pretty much it. That's everything you could possibly need to know about ProtonVPN. I think this is a super solid VPN, and it's one that I could definitely see myself using, especially when I'm traveling abroad. With that being said, if you guys want to get started with ProtonVPN, make sure to use the link down in the description to get the best deal possible when starting with them. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you guys never miss any of our new videos that we make about VPNs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in a future one.